All right, so this is module 3, topic 4, lesson 1, where we're taking tables and graphs and creating equations from them. The first thing I taught you to do was to start with the y-intercept. The y-intercept is when x equals 0. We don't have that value here, so the next thing I need to do is substitute. Now, I can use any value of these on the table I want to. So in this case, I'm going to use this one here. I need to substitute each answer choice and see if that works. When I substitute, I'm substituting for the variables only. That's my x and my y. I'm going to plug in the y value for y and the x value in for x. And then I'm going to see if this is true. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 12 is 18. That does not equal 13. So can F be the correct answer? No. You're going to do this for every single one. This is how we solve it. I'm going to substitute for my y and my x. I'm going to use that same y value and that same x value. 5 times 3 is 15. If I do 15 minus 6, I'm going to get 9. I'm not going to get 13. So therefore, G cannot be the correct answer. Do the same with answer choice H. I'm substituting for my X and Y. I'm going to use those same values. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 minus 5 gives me 13. That one works there. I want to double check and make sure it works with a. And so now I'm going to check J and see if J works or doesn't work. I'm going to use that same X and Y value. X is 3 and my Y is 13. I have -3 minus 11. The signs are the same. Add and keep. 11 and 3 gives me -14. That does not equal 13. So that means H is the correct answer. This is us practicing substituting. You substitute for your variables only, X and Y. Everyone got that? Number 2 is the same thing. Substitute for your X values and Y values. If I start with J, I have Y equals 94X. Wherever I see a Y, I'm substituting. Where I see an X, I'm substituting. I can use any one of these values I want. I'm going to start here with this one, and I'm going to use that 5 for my X, 470 for Y. If I do multiply 94 times 5, I do get 470. So J is the correct answer. On the graphs, you must start with the y-intercept. The y-intercept is when x equals 0. When you see it on a graph, it is here. This is the line where x equals 0. If I'm looking at that point, ladies and gentlemen, it's here. This is the x-axis. This is where x is 0. This is the graph. It hits it at 3. So when x is 0, y is 3. I now know my y-intercept. The y-intercept is the constant here. If I write that on top of all of my values, here the y-intercept is -2. That is not going to work. B and C, the y-intercept is 3, and D is 3/2. D is not going to work. Now I've eliminated 2 answer choices. Please start with your y-intercept. Now I'm going through the graph, and I'm going to just plot points that I can clearly see and record those on my table. For example, 1, 1, 2, -1. And I can use any of these on my when I substitute. I'm going to use the 2, comma, -1. I'm going to start substituting with B, answer choice B, y equals -1/2 x plus 3. Everywhere I see an x and y, that is where I'm going to substitute. I want to use this point, so I want to put the 2 in for x. Notice how x is on top of the 2. Notice how the -1 is in the y column. If I take half of -2, I'll take half of 2. That'll give me 1, and it'll be a -1 plus 3. These signs are different, so I'm going to subtract. Use the sign of the GAV. I will get a positive 2, which is not equal to -1. So B cannot be the correct answer. Let's substitute for answer choice C. Y equals -2x plus 3. Everywhere I see a y and x. Notice how I'm putting parentheses, ladies and gentlemen. This is how I know I'm going to put in my numbers for y and x. I'm going to use those same values. Put the 2 in for x, and put a -1 in for y. If I multiply this, a negative times a positive, I do get a -4. The signs are different here, so I do need to subtract and use the sign of the greatest absolute value. -1 does equal -1. So guess what's my correct answer choice? C. When you're doing these, notice all of this work I'm showing. If you're not showing any work, if you're not substituting, if you didn't write down the equation, don't think that you're going to be able to get the right answer.